Vitale Wealth Management with this week's grading investment market update. All information is gathered as of June 22nd, 2026. Let's get into the weekend review. Sorry I missed you last week or we're out of town, but let's get into it. The major U.S. indexes extended their gains last week with the NASDAQ advancing 2.76%. S&P was up 1.47%, the Dow gained 1.45%. International equities also posted strong returns. Emerging markets were up 7.62%. And international markets were up 3.51%. At the sector level, technology led the market up 3.4% for the week, while energy was the weakest at 5.9%. It was a shortened trading week as the U.S. on Friday, the markets were closed on June 19th. Upcoming economic releases. This week's economic calendar will be highlighted by key reports on economic growth and inflation. On Wednesday, the 24th, the Fed will release the results of its annual bank stress test, offering insights into whether the nation's largest financial institutions are well positioned to withstand a severe economic downturn. Then on Thursday, the third estimate of the first quarter GDP will provide an updated look at the pace of the U.S. economic growth. Also on Thursday, investors will receive the latest personal consumption expenditures, which is the PCE, which will provide further clues about the trajectory of inflation. We've seen inflation not quite as down as we want to see, which is why we're not seeing interest rates cut. They were supposed to be cut, hopefully, this year, but it doesn't look like we're going to get much rate cuts this year. The Federal Reserve left its benchmark interest rate unchanged at a rate of 3.5 to 3.75, as widely expected, while signaling that a future rate hike remains possible, which we don't want to hear. This meeting marked Kevin Warsh's first as Federal Reserve Chair and featured several notable changes. The post-meeting statement was significantly shortened and removed language that had previously suggested a bias toward future rate cuts. Now, in addition, Warsh did not provide his outlook in the summary of economic projections. Having been a longtime critic of the Fed's forecasting framework, it is a possibility he may ultimately eliminate the projections altogether. Investors will now turn their attention to this week's PCE consumption report, and the Federal Reserve which is the Federal Reserve's preferred measure of inflation. Now, the data will provide further insight into inflation trends and could give clues about future monetary policy. Last month, headline PCE increased 3.8% year over year, while core, which excludes the more volatile food and energy, was up 3.3% annually. So it's all about inflation, right? Let's talk about recent activity. There was no changes in the gradient investment portfolios last week. So you know how we rebalance every quarter, gradient does as needed. How about stocks in the news? MHO, which is owned in the Contrarian Choice Energy 50. They're the shares of a home builder that gained 5.52% last week after analysts continued to raise earnings estimates, reflecting improving near-term business trends and optimism surrounding the company's outlook. How about Nubius Group, which is owned in the SMID, the small and mid-cap portfolio, up 10.24% for the week after the tech company announced a $2 billion agreement with NVIDIA to support data center expansion, along with a partnership with Uber to accelerate the deployment of robotaxis and autonomous delivering robots. We've been talking about the small and mid cap coming on this year, looking super strong, really happy about that. It's a great part of the portfolio to diversify into. Also, we've got more things for non-qualified money. They do a lot of tax loss harvesting, a lot of strategies to kind of help offset capital gains, so we can rebalance portfolios as needed without really hitting you with taxes, which is great. And that's it. That's it for this week's commentary. Thank you so much for being part of the Vitale Wealth family. If you need to get a hold of us, you know the number, 855-756-5700. We hope all you fathers out there had a wonderful Father's Day weekend. And we're looking forward to our country's 250th anniversary on Independence Day. So looking forward to that. Hope you guys get some good time with the family as well. So God bless you. We'll see you again next week.